From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, the Trojan football team was thrust into the national spotlight this week as they grabbed a big win over the number 25 ranked LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge. The Trojans played an intense game from start to finish, keeping the Tigers at bay to secure the historic victory. Sarah Drake has the highlights from the game.
The Trojan football team walked away with a 24-21 win against the number 25 ranked LSU Tigers Saturday night in Death Valley. And head coach Neil Brown calls this a significant win, but explains why it is not the biggest win in school history.
Huge win for us Saturday night at LSU. I'm careful to say this. It's a significant win. I don't believe it's the biggest win in school history. We won 3 national championships here in 68, 84, and 87. I think that would be disrespectful to those team members to say it's the biggest win in school history. I don't believe that. But it is very significant, and it's significant for our university. It's significant for this community, and it's significant for our football program.
Brown dedicated this win to the Trojans of the past due to the fact that the team wouldn't have been in this position without them.
This win is for all those teams, dating back to 2004, that helped put this program in a position where Saturday night could happen, and that it played the so-called money games and came up close so many times and weren't able to get it done for a variety of reasons. I want all those players, those former players and those former teams to feel like they had a piece of this because they did.
Brown said that this was not the best performance from the Trojans, but that the team played solid.
We still didn't play a perfect game. We made some routine plays, but I don't think we did anything exceptional in the game on Saturday. We just were really solid. We were really solid in all 3 phases.
And Brown said that Saturday's game featured the largest group of fan support he has ever been a part of.
That was the biggest turnout, the loudest turnout by any fan group that I can remember that representing a team that I was part of. And they were loud. I thought they drowned out some of the LSU, especially late in the game. They stayed. They were excited. I thought they did a great job.
And the big win got plenty of national attention throughout the week as Troy upset the Tigers. But most Trojan fans were pretty far from upset about the results of Saturday night's historic win. Paige Weeks talked with students around campus to get their reaction.
I'm proud to be a Trojan.
I'm super pumped to be a Trojan right now.
It feels great. I'm a Trojan.
And it really did bring a lot of joy and pride to me to know that I was a Troy Trojan.
After Troy's historic win over 25th ranked LSU, it's fair to say the Trojan Nation was excited about the victory. And that excitement remains present around campus 2 days later.
The entire thing was surreal. I was shocked completely.
I was very excited. A small school beating an SEC school is always a big deal.
To go down there at night and beat them for homecoming was awesome.
Although the Trojan faithful are happy now, there were some tense moments toward the end of the game as LSU tried to mount a comeback. But Blaise Brown seemed to make everyone feel much better.
It was the most nerve-wracking thing. I was sitting there almost having a panic attack. I was like, oh my gosh, Troy has to pull this off.
That last play, it was really mind-blowing. I thought they were going to win, but I was so happy for the Trojans to win that game.
That last interception was it made my night better. It was everything I needed.
And some students feel the victory over LSU is a sign of how the Trojans have succeeded in rebuilding the wall.
Seeing Troy come from going 2-8 to where we're at now is definitely exciting. I think we're doing big things.
Just seeing how hard the Trojans have worked to just really rebuild the wall, it's been incredible because I think that they put in so much hard work and so much initiative, and this just goes to show how great it is to have a football team like ours.
It really brought more pride to the school, and the students are really showing it, pressing it more, and it just got us ready for South in 2 weeks.
And that's where the Trojan faithful's attention is now turned as the Trojans prepare for the Battle of the Belt on October 11th. Paige Weeks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And while there were many Trojan faithful that made the trip to Baton Rouge, there were many that decided to stay a little closer to home to watch the game. Luckily, the city of Troy provided a place for Trojan fans to gather and watch the game together on the downtown square Saturday night. Janae Jordan has the details.
On Saturday night, the city of Troy held a watch party for the students and the people in the community to come out and cheer on the Trojans as they took on the LSU Tigers.
Well, if you look behind me, there's a lot of people out here. I think there's a lot of support for the Trojans this year. We have, record-setting attendance at the stadium, so I think really a lot of people really enjoy it.
The watch party held in downtown Troy gives people a chance to enjoy the game with their friends and family while enjoying some free food.
I came for the watch party. I saw a bunch of people here and family, so I like the spirit of Troy. Yeah, I feel like home here. All this family spirit, so I like to be here.
Fans watched what would become a victory over the LSU Tigers with a score of 24-21.
Well, I know they're a big school. I mean, I'm from Brazil, so I don't have much experience about football games, but I know SCU is a big school, ACC conference, so I'm expecting Troy wins the game, and I mean, we're gonna have a great victory.
The Trojans will be back in action on their home turf on Wednesday, October 11th, when they take over the rivalry team, the South Alabama Jaguars. Reporting from downtown Troy, Janae Jordan, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
And as we've seen so far, the big win over LSU has gotten the university plenty of attention, even at the national level. And it seems that a lot more eyes have been focused on Troy since the win. And as Sarah Singletary shows us, that attention may pay off in added interest from new potential students.
The game is over, but the Troy University Trojans are only beginning to reap the rewards of defeating the number 25 ranked LSU Tigers.
He dropped the football.
Not only did LSU pay Troy a whopping $985,000 to come to Death Valley and beat the Tigers in their homecoming game,
and Troy was able to force an early turnover.
But according to Associate Vice Chancellor Buddy Starling, the win put Troy on the minds of potential new students everywhere.
The challenge we have every day is building the right level of awareness so that a lot of people, a wide spectrum of people, are attracted to this university, and that there's just no price we could put on the awareness that brought us over the weekend and is continuing to bring us.
Word of the Trojan upset spread far and wide in a matter of minutes Saturday night, gaining national attention from the country's leading news networks, something Starling credits to social media.
The interconnectivity of social media is just profound, and to see that erupting right before my eyes based on just the social networks that I'm involved in and who they will touch is really impressive.
And with a win like this on the university's resume, Starling seems confident that Troy is going to stand out from other universities like never before.
We're in the height of college fair season right now. Just the interest it brings to your table. Somebody that might not have known about you last week, say down in Fort Myers or Sarasota, Florida, knows about us today.
A winning reputation that will last long after Saturday night. Sarah Singletary, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
And while most Trojan fans are still basking in the glory of the football team's victory over LSU, for others it's time to move on since another pretty big game is just a few days away, the annual battle for the belt against South Alabama. While the game will be played next Wednesday night before a nationally televised audience, there are plenty of activities leading up to the big game. The Student Government Association laid out their plans for Rivalry Week in this week's meeting. Janae Jordan has the details.
On Tuesday night, SGA held their weekly meeting discussing the events leading up to the big rivalry game against South Alabama.
We're so excited for Rivalry Week. We're actually in partnership with Student Alumni Association. So we've got a car bash on Monday. We're going to have a big pep rally on Tuesday, followed by Trojan Madness, and then a bonfire on Tuesday night to cap that up. And then we're actually going to have a Trojan tailgate on Wednesday from 11 to 1 p.m. on the quad. And then, of course, the big game and Trojan Walk on Wednesday as well.
The SGA talked about how important it is for each student to come out for every event to make Rivalry Week a success.
Yeah, so anybody and everybody can come to these events. We're passing out food. We're really going to publicize very heavily on our social media accounts as well as on campus by hanging up flyers. And what we really need is for students to come out to the pep rally and come out to the game because it's going to be a huge pep rally and a huge game.
After a success over the South Alabama Jaguars last year, the Trojan fans are looking forward to cheering on the Trojan football team against South Alabama on October 11th.
I mean, I have huge expectations, not only of our players, but of our fans, because this year has been the best season yet. And so I really expect everybody to be there. Even more students than we're anticipating will be there.
Janae Jordan, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll learn how Troy residents will determine the future of alcohol sales in the city. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
By the end of next week, Troy residents will know whether or not they'll be able to buy alcohol on Sundays in the city of Troy. A referendum on Sunday sales will take place next Tuesday. Lauren Harkson takes a look at what the impact the vote could have on the city of Troy.
On Tuesday, October 10th, Troy residents will have the chance to cast a vote in a referendum for what could be a historical change. The referendum will ask one question.
Do you favor the sale of alcoholic beverages on Sunday after 12 o'clock p.m. in the city limits of Troy?
According to Paramore, there are many positive outcomes from the sales that could further improve the growth of Troy.
I do think it will help the city of Troy, it will help our tax base, and it will help our economic development endeavors as we continue to grow the city of Troy, the university, and the entire county.
The potential passing of Sunday sales gives local businesses and restaurants a possible revenue boost to help Troy's economic development.
It gives us an opportunity to recruit other eating establishments, franchise restaurants to come into town. It also increases our retail and things of that nature. The city of Troy's perspective in this is totally economic development.
And with the referendum quickly approaching, certain businesses are interested in locating to the area, depending on the vote outcome.
There are a few, we're not really at liberty to discuss those actual businesses right now because of non-disclosures, but there are a few who are very seriously looking at locating to Troy if the opportunity for Sunday sales is available.
Paramore encourages all Pike County citizens to vote whether or not you are for Sunday sales.
Whether you are a proponent or an opponent of it, I hope you go and exercise your right to vote and voice your opinion on the matter.
If the referendum is passed on Tuesday, Sunday sales will not become official until the City Council can pass an ordinance. Paramore feels the earliest that Sunday sales could go into effect might be the end of November. Lauren Harkson, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Every year, Troy University's faculty and staff get the chance to give back to the university through financial contribution during the annual faculty and staff campaign. However, this year there have been a few changes to the campaign. Chelsea Law has the details.
The Troy University faculty and staff kicked off their fund drive event a little earlier this year in the Math and Science building Tuesday morning.
We are having our faculty and staff kickoff events the first 2 weeks in October, and we usually do this in January. The past 10 years we've always had them in January, but we're changing the time, thinking October is, good football season, everybody's excited, it's better for everyone to give during this time of year than in January.
Employees have the opportunity to give back to the university in hopes of getting grant money in the future.
It's good to give back to university because when we go to get funds, grant money, they always say, what's your internal rate of giving? And it looks good if we have a large participation rate.
Everyone who donates can expect to get something back this year.
We've got levels this year. If you give any amount, doesn't matter if it's $1, $5, you get a t-shirt that's here. This has changed, give today, change tomorrow. If for any amount given, you get a t-shirt. And then if you give it $60 or more, you get a gift of your choice, which is one of the gifts that you got: the umbrella, the binder, the cooler, really nice things if you give $60 or more.
Chelsea Law, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Last summer, a group of Troy University faculty and students took a trip to India. The results of that trip are currently on display at the International Arts Center. And last week, one of the travelers kicked off a lecture series about the exhibit. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
Traveling leads to open-mindedness.
This was the message philosophy professor Jay Valentine promoted in his lecture on studying abroad, the first of a series of lectures centered around the International Arts Center's India photography exhibit. Valentine said this idea has come up in quotes he's found over the years, but placed particular emphasis on Malcolm X's pilgrimage story and Mark Twain's The Innocents Abroad.
Recently, I came across that quote from Mark Twain and then found out that he was actually in Varanasi, where we went, and I was just impressed with that. It's a great quotation.
To further support his point, Valentine also discussed world religion and explained the phallic connotations of the Shiva Linga icon, which some Shiva worshippers are not always aware of.
With all religions, there's other connotations, there's other implied meanings that are not necessarily prevalent to those who practice the religion, but they're still there. And so it's helpful sometimes if you see something striking in another religion, it helps you understand how people might see your own religion as striking.
Valentine also said he hopes more students will take an interest in studying abroad due to its impact on the educational experience.
It's turning into a hallmark of a humanities degree, of a wide university degree where you have breadth and depth to your education. I think it's very much complemented by a study abroad program.
Following this notion, Valentine plans to go abroad with students again in May 2019. His next stop, Nepal. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Troy University is known for having a diverse international student body here on campus, with students from all over the world enrolled at Troy. However, the school also encourages American students to do some traveling overseas as a part of their studies. And Wednesday afternoon, they had a chance to learn about some of those opportunities. Donald Robinson has the details.
Many of us dream of the opportunity to travel the world, but many of us are never able to achieve that goal. On Wednesday, students got a glimpse of how affordable and beneficial it is to travel the world by attending the annual Study Abroad Fair.
I hope students find out more about our programs. We have exchange universities and exchange partners where they can study abroad, and also faculty-led programs.
Although there are only a few different trips on display at the Study Abroad Fair, there are many more trips and opportunities available. For students who weren't able to attend the fair, there is still opportunity to get information.
It depends on the program that they want to get information about. Our website, our Troy website, has a lot of information on it. If they want to contact one of these third providers that's here today, they can get their information while they're here today, or they can get that from me later on, and I can always be reached at troyabroad@troy.edu.
Not only does studying abroad allow you to experience different cultures and see the world, but it also has its perks when it comes to your career.
Oh, well, the world we live in today is very global. There's lots of different cultures represented in everywhere we live. Even here in Troy, we have so many international students. So it really teaches them about different cultures, and it makes them more globally competitive when they are applying for jobs in grad schools.
Donald Robinson, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Troy University students looking to pursue a career in education had the chance to meet with potential employers Thursday morning in a career fair designed for education majors. Ashley Brown has the story.
Troy University education majors got the opportunity to attend a career fair designed specifically for them Thursday morning in Hawkins Hall lobby from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Snow Fu, an intern with Troy University's Career Services, gave tips on how students can prepare for the fair.
Bring your resume absolutely, and bring your smile, because every employer, they prefer the person with confidence. And also brings your cover letter if you have target position you want to have. Also the references letter.
The University Career Services offer help with resumes and cover letters for events as such.
The career services, we have the service for the students who need to revise their resume, cover letter, reference letter. So if you think you need that services, come to us.
Superintendents, principals, and members of the Board of Education shared what kind of students they were looking for.
Really, the students we're looking for are what epitomizes Troy graduates. We have a wonderful partnership here with Troy University, especially with Jan Oliver, who is taking over the internship program. We'll get students in for observation hours. They'll do their internship. Our principals find that they're a great fit for the school, for the students. The interns find that they're a good fit for our system as well. And then a majority of the time we hire our Troy internships and graduates right out of college.
The event connected Troy University education majors with 21 school districts from as close as Pike County to as far as Atlanta, Georgia. One student shared her experience.
I've definitely found lots of places that I'm very interested in, and I've loved kind of feeling out the different schools and different options, and there's a lot here, so that's good.
Ashley Brown, Troy TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see the sights and sounds of the Pike County Fair. That and more right after this, so stay tuned.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Every 2 weeks, there's a refreshing way to learn about other cultures. T4Troy explored the culture of Turkmenistan at their last meeting. Antonio Reese has that story.
Organization T4Troy met for its bi-weekly tea event, this week focusing on tea from the country Turkmenistan. A Turkmenistan native and Troy University student led the event by giving a presentation on the impact of tea in her country.
The whole thing was about drinking tea, getting together as a diverse group of people, and finding out a little bit about why tea is better than coffee.
In Turkmenistan, one drinks tea in a different fashion than most Americans may be accustomed to.
We add mint and we add lemon and sugar, which is, I think it's a staple of all post-Soviet countries, that way of drinking.
Tea is also drinking from different cups in the country.
In our country, we actually drink it from these cups that don't have handles. So it's like you're supposed to hold it either with two hands, so you appreciate it more, and you smell it as you put it to your mouth. Or the old way of drinking it, which is lost, is to hold it on the tip of your fingers. Yeah, it's an art that has been lost, unfortunately.
Overall, T4Troy allows you to try new things that you would never try, such as green tea with a hint of mint. Antonio Reese, Troy TrojanVision News.
Troy University's interpreter training program helps educate interpreters for the deaf and hearing impaired. And last Thursday, the program welcomed a television actor to campus known for his portrayal of a deaf character. Justin Walker has the story.
Troy University has become the first stop on a Hollywood actors tour. The actor wanted to recognize the university's American Sign Language program for its prominence as one of the top ASL programs in the country. And the actor is unique in that he is also deaf, and his name is Sean Birdie.
For those who may not know who Sean Birdie is, he plays the character Emmett in the TV show Switched at Birth. Birdie, however, did not want the focus to be on him, but instead focused to be on the ASL program and deaf community in and around Troy.
We see that he's not about himself. He's really about everybody else and inspiring other people. And I think part of his life work is the fact that he wants to recognize and build other people up and not, take the focus off himself. He's a channel by which people can be inspired.
And his messages brought both laughs and tears to the audience.
I mean, his messages made me really think about how I look at my life, and I'm really just going to look at my life and the way I go through my life differently, in a different manner. It really opened my heart up.
Using an interpreter, Birdie spoke about his life growing up, the struggles he faced, and what it took for him to get through his challenges, to be an inspiration for those that may be going through similar difficulties.
Just his motivation, learning his life and everything he's been through is really inspirational.
He shared his personal experiences with depression and just battling with bullying and such, and how he managed through those challenges.
Well, I know for me, he left me sort of speechless. It was pretty powerful, especially for somebody to share their story like he did.
Justin Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A resident assistant's job is to help students living in on-campus housing. However, this week it was Troy University students helping their resident assistants get wet. Yolanda Allen shows us how and why.
Troy University Residence Hall Association presents the Ra Splashback, which was held Wednesday morning in the social quad.
The Ra Splashback, basically it's a bunch of RAs coming out, volunteering their time to have water balloons thrown at them to raise money for a great cause.
Even though there was other events that was taking place in the social quad, some students made an effort to stop by the RA's table.
Well, I was checking out the Study Abroad fair, and I'm friends with a couple of people over here, and I just wanted to see what was going on.
For some RAs, it was difficult to hit them with the water balloon.
I've gotten 3 thrown at me, but only 1 actually busted, so I guess I'll see how many more get thrown at me for the rest of the day.
If you missed the RA Splashback today, it will continue throughout the week.
All balloons are $1, and we'll be here from 10 o'clock in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon, today, tomorrow, and Friday.
This year, the RAs are raising money for the Boys and Girls Club, so there will be more events in the future to support this cause.
We will be having a talent show in November. We'll be doing homecoming things. I advise all residents that live on campus to come to our RHA meetings. They're every other Wednesday in TC 212 at 4 p.m.
Yolanda Allen, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A fall tradition was in full swing as the fair was in town this week. Anna Kate Patterson hit the midway to give us a look at what this year's fair had to offer.
If you think you're smelling fried foods as you drive down Highway 231 this week, you're right. The Pike County Fair is in town. Located just south of town, the Troy Shriners Club has sponsored the Pike County Fair for 57 years straight. Club President Homer Homan explains why the fair is an important part of fall in Troy.
The public enjoys coming to a fair because this is a good, clean entertainment for all ages. You know, it's fantastic. The midway is clean, it's well lit. Everybody has a ball down there.
I also spoke with Courtney Whitehead, a Troy native, who shared with me some of her favorite childhood fair memories.
Just the rides, like we had the fireball ride, and it was always like the scariest one, and you know, it was kind of like, I dare you to do it, because I was always the one that's scared. We'd get on and we'd ride and just have fun.
And Whitehead said that she's excited to be here tonight so her son can get all the fair experiences, including the games, the rides, and the food.
Just the experience of the good food, funnel cakes, the cotton candy, the rides. He may not be big enough to ride a lot of the rides, but he's going to get to, you know, experience what he can.
And according to Whitehead, the fair air brings a certain sense of thrill to children and adults.
There's not a lot of extracurricular things for kids to do, so whenever this comes, it's an excitement to everybody. So
Homan says he enjoys the organization process of planning this fair, starting in February every year.
It takes time to put this together, you know, and I couldn't do it alone, believe me.
Homan also said his favorite part of the fair is seeing all the people enjoy themselves. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And that's what happened on the first week of October 2017. Find out what's happening throughout the week. You can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30, Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook. See links to online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We'll be joining us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.